Clicker Heroes is the single hardest game in existence. Way harder than Cookie Clicker. Elden Ring? Get the f out of here. Now you might ask why. What is this guy talking about? Well, I present to you the most reputable source since Wikipedia itself.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Small YouTuber Jammer Jim says that it takes 6 years to complete.
What?
And my goal is to 100% the game, even though it is so unnecessarily deep. So with that out of the way, let me explain the game. As you could guess, it is a clicker game, but it also has a roguelike aspect to it. You see, the goal is to beat the living shit out of these little monsters, and when you kill them, they drop gold, which you can then use in the shop to either buff how much damage your click does, or slide 20 bucks to your nearest homeless man. And without further ado, let's get started. Now step 1 was start making money. But first, why is this necessary? Anyway, so I upgraded my characters, clicked monsters, advanced level, clicked more monsters, advanced level, you get the idea. Now another thing to point out is every 5 levels you get a boss. And this boss has a lot of health and you only have a 30-second timer to kill it. Otherwise it'll reset and you won't be able to advance stage. And then before I knew it, I finished my first achievement of kill 100 monsters. And then the next of click 1000 times, which was completely 100% authentic. And it was at this point where I decided to have a look at the achievements to figure out what I was actually up against. And oh my god, did I realize my mistake. What the fuck? Zone 1 million, okay. Anyway, after a small crash out, I realized I still had so much to learn about the game, so I decided to focus on just getting as far as I could. And in doing so, I completed more achievements, upgraded my champs, and even unlocked special abilities that would double my damage, increase my crit chance, and most importantly, double my gold. However, at this point, I'd been grinding for almost 5 hours and was stuck on the funny number level, but I decided to leave it and let it farm overnight because I just couldn't make enough gold to progress anymore. And that brings me to day 2. I'd made 3,000 quintillion gold and I was ready to go on a shopping spree. And all of a sudden I was maxing out champs, unlocking more abilities and finally beating the level 70 boss very easily. Shortly after, I was then able to enslave this guy who unlocked possibly the most important aspect of the entire game, which are called Ancients. And these Ancients can buff your click damage, gold gained, hero damage and heaps more. But they require hero souls to buy. And hero souls are made by Ascending. And Ascending is a pain in my fucking ass because it's basically sacrificing all your progress and restarting. But until then, I want to build up as many souls as possible. And to do that, I had to reach zone 100, which has bosses that have a chance to hold souls. And not only that, but after this point, when you kill a boss, every 10 rounds you get these chests that give you a random hero's damage buff. Each of these buffs that a champ has increases its total damage by 50%. So you can imagine the damage any champ can do when they have loads of these upgrades. And then once I reached level 140, I unlocked Mercenaries. And of course, I need to fucking ascend to get them, as if this game wasn't already purgatory enough. Because at this point, I've been playing for almost 10 hours and I haven't even ascended once. And there's literally an achievement to ascend 250 times. One more thing I need to add is that you can also overlevel your champs, so that after level 200, every 25 levels, they get a 4 times damage buff. So lower cost champs can actually do some damage. Realizing this got me through levels 140 all the way to 150. However, the zone 150 boss was way too difficult for me to take on, even when I used 2 different damage ability buffs. And that was when I decided to do my first Ascension, in which I collected a total of 14 souls. And now I know that doesn't sound like a lot. And that's because it's not. I couldn't afford fucking anything helpful. But at least I unlocked the Mercenaries, even though I came to find out they were borderline useless. Because you have to use your Mercenaries to get more Mercenaries, but there's a maximum of 4, and it takes 8 hours to find each one. Not only that, but the rewards you get are just stupid. Like, 5% out of Ruby is fucking useless. No wonder it took Jammer Jim 6 years to complete this shit. Nonetheless, after our first Ascension, we have gotten through 24% of our achievements, with some notable ones being get 10 critical hits in 1 second, click 35 times in 1 second, and click 250,000 times total. But, as they say, all good things come to an end, and I had to restart back in the caveman times.
All your needs will be met.
I'm hungry!
In a minute!
So, I began my second Ascension, and everything did actually become much faster, and Zone 150, which previously took me a full 12 hours of playing, only took me 2 hours this time, and I was still flying through the levels. Until zone 175, where I decided to ascend again for another 17 souls. And Ascension 3 was much of the same, just killing, hiring champs, upgrading ancients, and even getting my first relic, which basically just buffs ancient stats a little bit. Still not quite helpful, but at least more helpful than those stupid fucking mercenaries. Then in no time, I was back to zone 175 for a rematch, and with the help of the crit chance ability, I was actually able to beat it. But zone 180 proved way too difficult and forced me to ascend. And again, and then again. Ascension 6 was when I broke through being hard stuck at 180 and smashed through to level 200. I don't even know why, but I was 10 times stronger than my last Ascension and breezed through the 200s, collecting a bunch of hero souls along the way. Then once I reached level 300, I was able to Transcend, which is similar to Ascending, but when I reset back to level 1, I get Ancient Souls. The only issue is that all my hero souls get reset as well. This is quite the dilemma because hero souls seem to be my main damage dealer, considering it almost took the same amount of time to reach level 200 than it did in my first Ascension. And it was at this point that I contemplated even finishing this video because I've spent a disgusting amount of time and I've only gotten through 35% of the game. However, there was light at the end of the tunnel because the ancient souls I got earlier I could spend on these guys. And this guy specifically buffs the amount of hero souls I get from each boss by 1000% per level. So I slammed all my points into him, and when I got to my next Ascension, I had 11,461 hero souls to play with. And from here on, everything became a lot more fun. And that's because I went on a hero soul shopping spree, buffing click damage, gold from monsters, and even the odds of getting a primal boss. And killing primal bosses are by far the best way to get stronger because just one boss can hold up to thousands of hero souls. And in this particular Ascension, I was once again stuck and couldn't help but to start tweaking because I had to ascend again. And just seconds before I became violent, I'd realized that this next Ascension would get me almost 1 million souls. So unfortunately, I had to bite the bullet and ascend again, but at least I ticked off another achievement for doing my 10th Ascension in the process. And then not even an hour later, I was reaching a massive milestone of Zone 1000. And then with the help of realizing that the best strategy was putting all my guild buffs onto my most expensive champ, I was able to get carried all the way to Zone 1500. Then got stuck at Zone 1800, so I ascended again with 80,000k souls. Or in non-fucking autistic terms, it's just 80 million. And I know what you're thinking. He must be pretty close to finishing the game because he's played this fucking clicker game for over 30 hours. Wrong. I'm halfway through, and I've done the easy achievements. So anyway, after grinding another Ascension, I made it to Zone 2000, and I was absolutely ecstatic. Oh my god. Oh, 2000. Holy fuck. And then much like this entire game, nothing special happened until I hit Zone 2500. Oh shit. Oh my god, I need to know how many hours I've spent on this fucking piece of shit game. Played this game for 35 hours and I'm 50% done. So yeah, the only thing special this game provides is a severe and continuous mental breakdown, which is actually quite surprising considering the amount of amazing reviews it has. But in all seriousness, I can't spend years completing this game for 10 whole views. That means if this video does good enough, I'll make a part 2 of me finally completing the monstrosity that is Clicker Heroes. Anyway, I tried a new style for this video. I hope you liked it enough to like and subscribe, and I'll keep trying to improve the quality of my content. Thanks for watching.